Hey, good morning. Welcome to the first episode of When Life is Lifing, the podcast. Today we have Cody Leathers here, the mayor of Cuba, Missouri. And he's going to be talking with us and helping us navigate a little bit through life while it's lifing.
Well, absolutely. Emery, thank you for having me. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here
you.
today and be a part of this podcast. So I really appreciate you asking me. And nice introduction. I'll have to correct you, former mayor of Cuba, Missouri.
Okay,
Former mayor, but I did spend 8 years in the municipal government, if you will. I'm 37 years old. At the time, I was around 30, and out in Cuba, Missouri is where I served. That's where I grew up, raising a young family, and just figured it would be kind of my way of giving back to my community and taking part in my community. As a younger guy, just to bring some new ideas and a new outlook to that type of leadership. It's usually reserved for old retired dudes, so I kind of came in and brought in some new ideas, and that's why I wanted to get involved into that. So I ran for city council, familiar with councilman positions. Out in Cuba, those are 2-year terms, so I ran against the incumbent that was in the seat, and I beat him, and then the next time I was unopposed, so I ran for another 2 years.
Nice.
After that, I decided to move up to the mayor's seat, so I beat the incumbent that was in at that time, and then my next term I was unopposed again. So gave it an 8-year run, and then with my day job, my real career, business development manager for Wallace Lubricants, which is how we met.
Yes.
My wife and I relocated from Cuba to closer to St. Louis area, so I gave up the mayor thing. But it was a great experience, and something I'll definitely always remember, and was excited to be able to give back to the community and learn a lot in that capacity.
That is wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Wow, 30 years old and already into politics.
Sure. Yeah.
What led you into politics? Just from the very beginning, is that something that you wanted to do?
I think just... Again, it started by just giving back to the community. Small town, born and raised there for the most part, and raising a young family. I just wanted to be part of the growth and be part of the future and be part of the direction that the community was going in. So I figured, hey, what a way to do it than run for office. And I had a lot of support. A lot of friends and family are like, yeah, I think you'd be great at this, and let's get some younger, newer outlooks on how we can move our community forward. And actually with me coming in, that motivated a lot of other younger, like-minded people to get involved. So one of the things that we did was we passed a park and recreation tax.
Okay.
And that allowed us to establish a park and recreation board. Just a lot of younger families, moms and dads and folks that wanted to take the ideas and how to put that tax money to use to better our parks and our swimming pool and all that kind of fun stuff. So again, it just got a lot more people involved in the community, and a new, younger, fresher outlook. Not that that's always needed, but
it is.
It was time for the next generation to kind of say, hey, this is what we want for our children. So a lot of us got involved.
So you're kind of responsible for moving Cuba into the next generation of moving. Yeah. Did you feel any pushback at any point on that? Like what are some things that you can talk about that actually you had to overcome, maybe some adverse situations or obstacles that would that other people can learn from that you had to experience?
Yeah, great question. Main thing is people don't like change, right? And again, in a small community, whenever you have a lot of older population, their methods are proven, and they don't necessarily want change. But just within that growth, we put a focus on our local economy, for instance. And I know one of the things that came up that was more risque, if you will, at the time was the state of Missouri passed a medical marijuana constitutional amendment.
Yes.
Right? It was a vote by the people, and it was approved. And at that point in time, it becomes, like I said, an actual constitutional amendment. So it's there.
Right.
With that being said, we had the approach from a lot of different individuals saying, hey, we want to come to your zip code. We want to put in some facilities that have to do with the medical marijuana industry as far as growth and manufacturing of the products.
Absolutely.
So it was a bit controversial, of course.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, hey, we don't want this in our community. This is not a good thing. And it's like, well, you guys have to understand this is a constitutional amendment, so it's not like they have the right to do this. They have the
right to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they want to come, they're going to go somewhere, right? And why not treat this as an opportunity with open arms to create job growth and more
Absolutely,
revenue,
yes.
utility revenue for the city, just more people in our town shopping at the grocery store and eating at the restaurants and buying homes. I mean, it's commerce.
Yes.
And so we had 2 industries come in. One of them probably invested easily a $5 to $10 million investment in the facility.
Wow.
And hired about 100 people.
That's incredible.
And that's great for the community.
Yes.
And then we had a second one reach out, and through economic development, the city had owned lots of industrial property. So we actually gifted them about 15 acres of property. Mm-hmm. They built a multi-million-dollar facility, hired 100 people. And started
in the city, or did they bring people
in the city? In the
Wow.
city. Well,
Okay.
they brought people in from all around.
Yeah.
Which again
Helps
brought
grow
people,
the city.
grows the schools, it grows the city, it grows the local economy.
That's incredible.
But that was a big thing. I think that was controversial, right? Because it has that stigma around it.
Right. Right.
They have to go by a lot of strict rules. It's the exact same thing as a liquor store. Can't be within 500 feet of a church or a school.
Right.
Same with a dispensary or a growth facility. So, we can go buy a bottle of liquor at the liquor store.
Yeah.
This is really no different.
It's
and
not
at this
the
point in
prohibition
time,
right now.
Yeah, at this point in time, it was only medical. So,
Yeah.
and then adult use passed in the state of Missouri. Again, constitutional amendment. So that allowed these manufacturers to really step up their production, which was more job creation and more revenue for this communities. And not just our community. There's 114 counties in the state of Missouri, and whenever this initially took place medicinally, the Department of Health and Senior Services said, hey, we don't want anybody within the state of Missouri to be more than 25 miles away from a dispensary, because this is now medicine.
Yeah.
So you had these things popping up all over the place and really creating a lot of growth and revenue. But again, that was probably a more controversial thing, and it was just happened to be this all became in while I was serving. It was so new.
Well, I'm glad it happened while you were there.
Me, open-minded. It's legal.
Yeah.
And it's growth and revenue. So those programs were very successful, and I think will continue to be successful. Raise a lot of money for the local economy.
That's perfect.
Yeah, sure.
So with that coming in now that it's more recreational here in Missouri, did that help out getting that inside of the city, or did it make it more difficult for the recreational side of it coming in now that it's legal recreational?
Yeah, I think the doors were already open for it with the medicinal that took place.
Yeah.
So it was really just like, hey, one more step. You don't have to have a medical card to go buy this stuff. You just got to be 21, right?
Yeah.
So I think your writing was on the wall, and a lot of other states throughout the United States have legalized. So
yeah, it's big now.
Followed suit. It's kind of like we just legalized sports gambling. Well,
yeah.
We'll see how that works out, but it potentially could raise a lot of money for our schools.
And I can remember when they first got the casinos here in Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Telling my age a little bit, but it was a lot of drawback and pushback
I was kind of surprised the one on the ballot this year for Lake the Ozarks didn't pass.
It didn't?
It did
Okay,
not. Yeah,
wow.
sports betting passed, but that one did not. But
yeah, I see a lot of people on their phones now doing the sports betting, and so that I know that's going to turn into something, and it's something big, hopefully for the economy.
Yeah, it should be. And again, these are all things. I mean. And if you don't have to partake in them if you don't want to.
Right.
But they're there if you do.
It's like if you're on Facebook and don't like somebody's post, just scroll by.
Yeah. Or be like me, you don't even have Facebook.
Right.
I'm like one of the weird people that doesn't have Facebook.
It's funny you say that. I tried to look you up earlier.
Yeah.
You really don't have Facebook.
You have to look up the wife. That's how people usually get a hold of me that way. And
smart man, smart.
I talk to people that I want to talk to and I need to talk to, and I'm. If you have my cell phone number, I'm easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, you are. You respond right back.
Outside of that, I try not to spend too much of my time looking at other people's lives, I guess.
That makes sense. Let me ask you this. So you're with Wallace Lubricants, and you do...
So my title would be Business Development Manager.
Okay.
It's just fancy words on a business card. In our industry, I would be a distributor sales rep. So we're a oil and lubricant distributor. Okay. We're branded ExxonMobil, so for any type of branded products out there, that's the flag we fly. So as a distributor sales rep, I'm out in the field knocking on doors, introducing myself to shop owners and folks who might have lubricant needs, basically oil for auto shops, dealerships, things like that.
Yeah.
My specific silo is PVL, which is passenger vehicles. Mm-hmm. We have focuses on commercial vehicles, industrial, mining, lots of different avenues, and then my focus is passenger vehicles. So out knocking on doors, seeing what folks are doing for their oil, trying to push the mobile program, as well as the Wallace program.
And they have a great, mobile is one of the best lubricants you can buy out
for
there.
sure, without a doubt.
And for
it's,
people
widely recognized throughout the whole entire world.
Especially for GM products.
Especially for GM products, this is true. ExxonMobil makes the OEM lubricants for GM, which is under the name AC Delco. It's GM is being born with mobile products. So once these cars get out of dealership warranties and things, it's going to call for that mobile product, and we're out there trying to help folks get hooked up with the products that they need.
Well, I work with you personally on a weekly or a monthly basis, and you do amazing with me. Do you encounter anything that makes it difficult some days more than others?
Yeah, you're still dealing with the public, and you're still dealing with individuals who have a lot on their plate. So, it can get a little stressful or tense sometimes. My job is to try to be the easy button. Hey, you got a business to run. You don't need to be worrying about making sure you have oil in the back room. So I usually try to just make sure I'm available and I make that happen for people. Sometimes we might have a truck running a day late or something, and that can create issues. I've got guys call me, hey man, I'm out of oil, what's up? I need your help. We just try to solve those problems as quickly as we can and resolve them. But those things definitely happen. In sales, you're getting told no a lot. Right, so out cold calling and knocking on doors. I mean, there's some adversity there.
How do you overcome that?
I think persistence is key. As far as trying to capture new business, you walk into a shop and the phone's ringing and Jim didn't show up for work today, and the last thing that the boss man has time to do is talk to the sales guy walking in the door, right? Right. So you just can't take offense to it. Just always smile and be pleasant and say, hey, I'll drop in a week or so and see if we can catch up, and just understand that people have a lot more to do than talk to you. But if you can show up and at least make it known that you can provide a solution for them and help make their life easier, and that's what you're there for, not just sell them a product and never see them again, but actually be a partner. Once you can get to that piece of the conversation, a lot changes, I think. So it's being persistent, being patient, trying to really get the message out there, what you can do for these folks, and just taking their cues too. How they want to be approached, if they want you showing up, if they don't want you showing up. Maybe drop a thank you card and say, hey, thank you for your time or something, and then that'll be sitting on their desk, and they might call you a week later. And then you work around their schedule. So just again, you had a sales background, you get told no a lot, but
I'm used to that.
Not get knocked down. Just realize that hey, you're a good person, you got a good product, and just be out there and be persistent for sure.
Yeah, and so that's key to life is persistent and consistency. I talk a lot about it, and it's not rocket science. It sells the book. Is you have to be consistent. It's not that you're going to get a yes every single time in life, but it's the one yeses that count, because you can turn that into multiple yeses through other people. So repeats, referrals, things like that. You just spoke on that consistency in life and starting and finishing something,
and learn to find new ways.
Ways.
If it's not working, think outside the box and learn to find a new way. And one thing that we try not to do, again, with persistence in sales, is, oh no, here comes the oil guy. Everybody lock the door and run to the back room because this guy's here again.
I actually look forward to it.
But have something new to say. Yeah, have a new approach. Say, hey man, I'm not here to talk to you about pricing. I'm here to say, for one, how's business? How's your help in the back room? You got enough staff. What are some of the things that we could do to help you, and just open up the conversation, allow them to do the talking, and just mixing up the approach and having something new and fresh to bring to the potential customer is important. But on that note too, with your books, let's talk about that if you don't mind.
Oh, I never mind.
So Life Be Lifing.
Yes.
How's that going?
Oh, it's going very, very well. Just honestly is the overcoming response to I am so grateful to everyone that's out there that purchased the book. It's did very, very, very well. I am still shocked and amazed and surprised all in one, and I'm elated by it.
Yes, so I have the book.
Yes, you do got both of them.
As well as the sales book. So
Yes.
I've read both of those. My wife's read both of those.
Really?
Kind of trying to share those around. I keep them in my office. Mine are autographed by this guy, so very valuable.
And I'm willing to go anywhere to autograph these books.
Yeah, but no, they're fantastic, and I recommend all of our listeners, if you haven't picked it up, to take a look into it, because there's a lot of good messages there.
Thank you so much.
And I like the simplicity, and I mean that in a good way, because it's hey, this is it. Just think about things in a simple way. It's not rocket science. Don't get overwhelmed. Get it back to the basics, and you read that message in the book, whether it's talking about because life be lifing, or it's more specifically sales on the other book. It just really shows a perspective of, get out there, keep it simple, do the right thing, and you're going to overcome.
A lot of people try to reinvent a wheel that's been working, and there's nothing wrong with the wheel. We want to add to the wheel.
Sure.
Add your own personality, add what you bring to it, and then make the wheel better and teach that to someone. I believe in that's more than kids being your legacy, is what you add to whatever you did for 10, 15, 20 years of your life, because that's what you spent the most time on.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I wanted to add the basics back to sales, because we do so much with internet. And I was telling my little cousin the other day, when I was a senior in high school, that's when the internet came out.
Right.
So I'm not as smart.
And he doesn't know a life without it.
Yeah. It's just two totally different worlds, but they can things that always stand the test of time is building relationships, is what you do very well. Very I'm always happy to see you when you come in. And building relationships is something that will never, ever go out of style. People want to be able to communicate and understand what they're purchasing or what they're getting themselves into, and I believe that building relationships help do it.
Yep, it's key. Again, we like to really push that. Hey, I'm not a sales guy, but I'll be your partner through this thing. And whenever I was asked to take on this role with Wallace, the first thing I said was, hey, if you're looking for like a sales guy, a used car salesman, like, you got the wrong guy, because that's just not me. I don't have it. I couldn't pretend to be one. Some people have that gift. But I was like, if you want me to just be straight up with people and have conversations and build relationships, I can do that.
I would hire that guy in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
Building relationships is still the American way, is the way to the future.
And Wallace was really founded on that. And they, 1968, one gas station in Cuba, Missouri, to 50 gas stations now, a dirt cheap franchise, a car wash franchise, and many other things that Wallace has grown into. It all started with that exact same mentality, and they've really pushed that through the family to us employees, and it's a fantastic company to work for.
That's incredible. Well, Cody, we really appreciate you coming out today.
My pleasure, man. We'll definitely do this again. Yeah.
This has been a great conversation, and I hope you guys learned something from it. Again, life is always going to be lifing, and we're going to help you get through it. If you don't have any other options to overcome these objections, get the book, or just give me a call. My website, www.kennethsalestraining.com. And if you need some good oil, lubricants, anything like that, make sure you hit up Cody at Wallace Lubricants, okay? I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.
My pleasure, brother. Thanks.